Awesome. So we're gonna be making a simple personal tutor, and we're gonna be using a local Llama agent for that, most probably 7 billion parameters one. And the idea is to show you guys how to make something that works with LangChain. Okay. So before we move forward, so we need to understand that we'll be using the LangChain or Llama integration. Okay. And the idea is to use a simple one file version and create everything in one place. So do not do this in production. This is just to show you guys how things work. So it'll use LangChain, Llama, and local Llama, 7 billion parameters. And if you're wondering whether your system can run it or not, if you have 16 gigabytes of RAM, probably it should be able to run it. I have 4 gigabytes of GPU. I think I have 3090. Yeah. So I should be able to run it very easily. So let's get into it. What we need to do is we will create a directory and we will name it a personal learning tutor. Okay. As you can see, we already have that here. And let's get into it. Okay, so people often ask me what and how do I do this? So if you press tab inside a place after CD, anything that is inside the folder will be shown to you. So if you do ls, there is only one folder here. So if I press CD tab, it'll open that folder. If I press again and there is something else inside that folder, it'll open that. So let's get into this. And we should first make a virtual environment. So I guess this is the correct command. And this should make a virtual environment inside our personal training tutor. As you can see, it's currently working on that itself. And now we have to activate the virtual environment. So for that, we will do scripts activate. And yes, our virtual environment is now activated. So what is our next step? What do we need to do next? We will be needing pip packages for this, for LangChain, the core of LangChain, and we need Llama also, and we also need a .env package. So let's do Python, right? So let's do pip install LangChain. Now I can do it one by one, and I can be like pip install LangChain core, but for anyone who is a completely new fresher here and you don't know how these things work, you can just write the next one here. LangChain core, LangChain Llama, and we'd be needing Python .env. So with all of that done, it should, yes, I do have, so I do not care about that. This should download everything. So let's just get rid of this and let's wait for this process to complete. So once you, okay, why do we need most of these things? Okay, first of all, let's understand what's LangChain, right? So what is happening here is that I can create a completely new agent just out of the air, but it won't be able to access tools. In order to give it access to the web, in order to give it access to some other tool that someone has made, you want to use that, and it's on the LangChain repo, you can just get it from there. You need to make, basically, you need to get the LangChain framework, and you need to make tools and your frame, and the entire coding agent inside it. So what we will do now is we will pull the, I guess it was Llama 7 billion, right? Yeah. And this should pull the manifest for that exact model. It's going to be a big download. So this is where it will take a lot of time for you to complete it. But the idea is just to show you guys. I already have it, but I want to have a separate one on my local. So, I mean, on my virtual environment. The idea to create a virtual environment, as I've discussed earlier in another video, is that we don't want to break anything in the system itself. It's fine if we break that space inside it, but not in the system. So if something happens and basically, let's say something breaks inside here, that could be breaking the system also, or we have a memory limit we have memory MLE or something like that, and you're exceeding the memory limits and stuff. It'll only happen inside the virtual environment, which again is not going to break your entire PC. So this is a safeguard for you. And yeah, it's something that you should always do. It's just a good practice. If you don't do a virtual environment, it's not going to hurt, but you should still do it. And the other point is that I already have a Llama 2 7 billion parameter model inside my system, right? But that is the global model. So basically that is installed on my system itself. That's one side. So the model can be accessed from inside the virtual environment. But anything that I install inside the virtual environment itself cannot be accessed outside. The point is, if I download a bigger model here, I won't be able to access it outside the system. Global one can be accessed from the system. If you are here, if you're in the virtual environment, it can access the global one, but the global ones can't access the local ones in the virtual environment itself. That's just for the things that we write here inside this folder where we have initialized the virtual environment. So all of that is done and good. We will also be needing we'll need to test it out also once. So we will be needing a dot environment file. So while this is happening, let's go here and let's just add it from here. So let's give it, is it inside? Yes, it is inside. So what we'll be needing is we need to tell it that we have the Llama model is Llama. Oh, wow. 7 billion parameters. Just one. Wow, I think I bought, yeah. It's okay. This is just gonna be a pain in the ass while we do this. So let's go for the Llama-based URL. We will be doing it at the local host. So let's do it here. Okay, and let's say that the tutor name should be the personal learning tutor. And the tutor level should be beginner. So this we will be needing afterwards. So if we set it to advanced or intermediate, that depends on what the other person knows about the concept. So I am saying that I don't know anything about this exact concept. So I want, I'm complete beginner, right? So I want a tutor who is basically, made for a complete beginner and not someone who's advanced. So well, let's check. This is done. Good. So let's do this. We do Llama. We want to test out whether it works or not. Llama do swarm do. This should start a local instance of the Llama model that we can test. And the idea is to test everything here before we actually move forward. So we need to understand what exactly is the model answering. So is the model even capable of answering what we want? We will define the prompts and everything later. But right now, we are not actually interested in that. We are actually interested in much more important thing. That is this model actually going to be able to answer what we are asking it? So for this tutorial, I'll most probably try to create something that works with Python, right? So we need a tutor for Python. This can be a tutor for anything, as long as the Llama model for tools and the 7 billion parameters has no. So let's see. What Python? Wait, when were you trying? So we need to understand what is the last amount of data that was fed into it. So this gives a good idea. So okay, so probably they did not incorporate into it. So we'll have to check this out. It's probably going to be 2023 or 2022, something like that. But we can assume that it should be. So let's ask it a question so we'll figure out what is Python tip, right? So okay, it's able to answer very well what is happening. Yeah, so it's pretty much, you know, it's actually writing a good answer. And oh, okay, and this would also want to check how much time did it take to answer this, right? So in production, you can use API keys also. The entire idea would be to change the URL, and the model can, the URL just has to be changed. I think if I'm not wrong, there are a few places which give you free API keys. You just have to add an API key here and add things here. So it's all good. So we currently know that the model is working perfectly in our system. We have a environment variable too. So let's get on to creating a main.py. Okay. So let's think, what will we be needing? So first of all, we will definitely be needing .NET. So wow, I've been working too much of React nowadays. Yeah, that's my bad. .NET. Okay. So why did I need this? I need to get the .NET. Let's see. We will be needing a data path, right? So what will be our data path? We need the path variable to figure out. We need somewhere that we store all our cache, right? So think of whatever we have talked with the agents. So let's put it something like this, right? So yeah, I need to declare path also. So let's do this. Let's course import OS, and then we need to import the applet from that, and we do need OS. Why do we need OS? Because we need to get environment, and that will be name comma default, which, and here we go. So this should just return os.get environment name and default, but strip, and that will return everything for us, right? So while we do this, we also need to create a profile. So let's do this. Define default profile. And for the default profile, what do we need? We need a profile. We need to basically find what we, yeah, so give me yes. While I really want to get rid of this. Just reset it today and yeah, just turn it off. So we want to return, and we want to return this name. And for that, we'll do get environment. What is the name of that person? Was tutor. Let's go here. This is the name we are using. And if we want to keep a default, we can keep it somewhere. Let's just put my name on that now. Yeah, let's just keep the default of this. What else do we need for the default profile? We need the level, right? So the same thing. We get it from environment variable. And what is the exact thing for this? Let's get it here. Cut it off. And give it a default level of, right. And for the profile, we need something like weak areas. So we define weak areas and then we get environment. Actually, weak areas will not be storing in the environment. So we just create it as a list. And inside this list, we will be storing all the topics that are weak areas for a person. We also need a completed topics. Yeah, completed topics should be put like this. We will also need let's call this. Right, so we need the chatbot needs to know what is the current topic that we're working on. So let's keep that as actually keep this as one. You can keep it like you can keep it like that also, but it really is better if you keep it as none. Don't then you have to basically be like if current topic is not none. So if you went with the other option, that is this right here, you have to put as current topic is not this thing right here. There quotations. Then you start a new chat, right? So we go with the last quiz. Inside this last quiz, we want to store something like we need to know what the topic was for the last quiz. The topic for the last quiz could have been anything. Just initialize it with none. This is good practice. The next thing is the question that was asked in the last quiz. Initialize this also with none itself. There's a small error. Let's get rid of that. What else do we need? Yes, we need to store an expected answer. And let's initialize it with none. You can add a comma here, you can leave it empty. There would be not a big problem. So let's see. This is what our LLM is going to know about us. Okay, so not about us, but actually about the instructor itself. So when you think about it, the last quiz is going to be a dictionary, right? And it'll have a topic, the name of the topic, the question that was asked, and the expected answer. It's going to have it for every single chat. So every single chat, we are going to know what was happened, right? So let's go to current topic. We have none. Awesome. And let's do define load profile. Okay. Need to passing the creators to. There is a slight error that we would want to express, and that is that it was, yeah, that's fine. Right. So let's get, we need a data path here, and in that we want the parent to be selected, and we want to make a directory in that position, and then name of that parent is, we need to make sure that the parent exists, and exist, okay, also has to be true. Okay, so this will be used to load the profile that we had saved here. Okay. And basically, what we want to make sure is what all do we need? So we need if not data path dot exists. Make sure that data path is going to exist. Okay. And we will add profile equal to default profile. So this is going to be our profile. We also have to save profile. Okay. So we save the profile here. We haven't made this till now, but we have to make this also. So while we are doing this, let's make a save profile. Is being passed. This class is an object profile. We're passing profile. Let's do that. Dot parent dot make directory, and we're gonna make sure that parent equal to true, comma exist okay is also equal to true. And when we do this, we need to also make sure that data path dot write text file. We need to get the JSON object here. So let's go back up and see what's here. Import JSON. Okay. Let's get JSON. And what we're going to write inside it is that your chatbot cannot actually talk like a human. So it's going to do is it's going to pass objects, right? So it is passing the profile and it is passing the indentation. It is passing and it is also passing the ensure ASCII, right? So yeah, need to ensure that everything is in ASCII format because we're going to be working in a terminal itself. So what we do here is we do JSON.dumps and we put in the profile. We make sure that we have an indent of 2. And we ensure that ensure ASCII is put as true. Okay. Along with all of this, we also have to make sure that encoding is true. Sorry, not true, but let's go with UTF-8. I think that's what works with terminal, right? Yeah, that will save your profile. Yeah, this should be able to save your profile, and that basically is saving what was asked. So if there is already a profile where, I mean, this tutor was there, right? So it's gonna write over it and it's gonna say that. Otherwise, if there is a new profile, it is going to take that new profile and it's going to work accordingly. Let's get on to the next thing, right? So we basically, did, we saved the profile. We also have to make sure that we return the profile here, okay? After this, we need to make a try block. What are we trying to do here? We are trying to return the JSON dot loads. We want to return the data path dot parent. No, we actually don't want to do that. We need to return the read text. And we will see if that text exists. So we know that we saved it in UTF-8. This is basically JSON that was stored. So we're just trying to pass on the JSON. And the agent should know from that what we're trying to do. So let's put an accept. And what do we want to get in accept? So we want to get a JSON dot JSON depot error. That should work. Yeah. If there is a broken JSON or something, it basically sends back a accepts it. So this will not break your code. This is here. These things are here so that it doesn't break the code. Otherwise, it just does. If you just write it normally like this, it'll break the code and stop, it'll exit. And you don't want that. You want the thing to keep going, right? So if something breaks, it breaks. So there will be times when LLMs will give back data that has some sort of formatting issues and stuff like that. You gotta make sure that when you're working with LLMs, you have your try and accept statements written very well. So if this happens, we want to basically the default profile in again, and we want to save the profile, and we want to return the profile. There's nothing, but just trying to get the old things done. Now that should take care of that, right? Now, what else do we need? We need a function for getting the profile summary. And what are we going to pass inside it? We're going to pass profile. So what we're trying to do is we're going to get the old things that we're going inside. So we take something like equal to profile.get. And what did we store it as? Let's just copy this and make it right here for us to understand. Okay, this is not going to be saved yet. We're just seeing. So weak areas is what we call this thing. We basically need to find the weak areas of that person, and if there are, let's be for here. Okay. Then we also need a completed one. So that is profile.get. And how do we do this? We have completed topics. So let's get it here. And the default is going to be this. That should take care of the weak and the completed one. And now we want to return an F string. So let's make this. What are we returning? We are returning the name is going to be profile.get. Okay, actually we could have just, but I don't want to. We're going to be we need a level, and that is also stored as a level for us. And to ensure that we also have another one. The next one should be name level. We need to make sure what this is all in caps. And we need to get the weak areas. Now that we already got, so we need to make sure that it is beautified before sending. So we need to do this, and then for every single one that exists, we need to do the join complete. So that's basically, and that's gonna be a week not completed. If we else none yet, that should take care of everything here. Then we need to get completed topics. Also, let's do this as a small thing since we're keeping the other ones also small. So the same thing. Let's just copy it over. and put it here. And instead of this, we have completed. Why can't we just get them exactly like this, right? So that is, we definitely could have done that. There is nothing wrong in that, but we want to keep the code clean. The entire point is to always ensure that the code is clean. And now you might be asking me, why not give it an indent? This is an F string, so yeah, good luck giving it an indent. The indent will exist in the answer too, so don't do that. Let's get rid of this. And when we send this, we also need to make sure that was stripping it. Okay, the strip will make sure that they are sent separately. And what else will we need? We need to define the create LLM. Why do we need this? We need to create the LLM object that is going to run this, right? So let's make chat or Llama. All right, so we need to define chat or Llama too. What was the import statement for this? I guess while we're doing this, let's get all the LangChain ones done first. From LangChain, Llama, LangChain, Llama, import chat Llama. Right. So yes, that is right. From LangChain code prompts will be import my prompt template and from LangChain code dot products. Actually, no, we need an output parser. Wait, input. Is it S? Not. We need to import. I think it is known as the string output parser. Yeah, that right there is correct. Give me a quick moment before I come back. Awesome. Okay, we have a situation here. Yeah, sorry about that. My dog was just pissing me off. Well, my dog got stuck in my chair, but now it's all okay. We'll fix it up. Let's continue. We also imported at some point we'll need to get the import regex. So Let's get that here too. And why is it a problem? It says that LangChain Llama could not be resolved. So let's do this. Not defined. Chat Llama is not defined. Well, that's a different story, but okay. We can solve these issues at the end. Some issue. Maybe the install didn't work well. Sometimes it does this, even though it's installed. Okay, so we need to define the chatbot here. So let's go for a model. Go to get environment, but not actually can do dot also, but we need to have an Llama model here. And for a default, we just keep it to the lemon here. Let's move forward. After the model, we get a base URL. And let's get that base URL as get environment. And what was our base URL? So this was the base URL. And actually, just keep it like this. We should define it. Okay. It's temperature. So for temperature, let's put it as something like 0.4, right? This should get us, yeah, this should create our, this should create our LLM. So this will resolve later. Now comes the most important thing. So parse sections is where we are going to parse everything. And let's have an input text. Let's first take the pattern, and for the pattern, we're gonna be having anything that is inside this pattern. Yeah, we need to put this inside this, and then plus unstrength. Why is it not changing color? But not, it should be perfectly done. I also need to do this, and I need to do this. I will explain this pattern to you guys later. Right now, let me think what else do we need a question mark, and we need to make sure that backslash n's are, yeah, backslash n's. You guys can just copy this. This is a little bit of an unnecessary step, but actually it's not unnecessary, but you don't want to, you want to make sure that this is configured completely correctly. And to make sure that there's a plus here, then a slash. Always closes with this method, and then or slash, let's see, should go ahead. Yeah. That should be our correct pattern. Actually, let me go to the web and search it out. Is this pattern correct or not? So this is, yeah, this is the correct pattern. Seems, yeah. Let's go to matches and let's do re dot find out. and we are trying to find patterns, okay, within that text, and then we have to get a flag re dot. What do we do? Let's do dot all. Yeah, that should be good. We basically are trying to figure out inside our user input what matches, and we need those patterns. So we have to feed the result. We could have fed it normally also. This makes sure that this is just to ensure that there's no SQL that is being sent inside, or something that can, So Control D makes you exit the thing, right? So if you want to narrate it, you could do Control D narration. You can feed it as an input, which would not be fun, right? So think about it like a Python interpreter running inside a terminal, right? And I write exit and then exit or quit, something like that, and then the opening brackets and closing brackets. So that exits the terminal, right? So if I am a user and if I wrote something like that, then that would exit the entire session, which would break my thing, right? So that should not happen technically. And this is what predicts that from happening. We actually need a dictionary here. So what we're gonna do is key, comma, value in matches. We will do result strip is equal to value dot strip. Okay, this should work. Yeah, there is a slight problem though. We need to make sure that this is happening. Yeah, we should be doing this and return result here. Awesome. Let's get on with the actual implementation now. So let's state plain prompt is equal to chat. Chat or Llama was that? Nah, we the chat on template. And then we need from what is this? From messages, right? Yeah, from messages. And now is where the fun part starts. Now, first of all, you need to define a system message, right? So let's get on with that. So system, comma, this is where you define the F's, and then you. Okay, I did something wrong, I think. Yeah. What are you? You are a personal tutor, right? And what are you going to do? You are going to create for practical learning plans for beginners. Yeah, let's get all the spelling mistakes, right? And we want to make it which don't simple. I really haven't gotten used to this new keyboard till now, so apologies for the write-ups. Let's get to the next one. What is the next one? The next one is going to be a human. And the human will, as usual. For the human, we need to basically make a learner with 5, right? And from all of this, we basically right now know that it is the profile. So let's say whatever the profile is, we're going to be turning that on the one create a 5-step plan for this topic. Okay. And then for topic, topic, right? Yeah, it is topic. Remember, we already defined all these things. And then we return in the format. What format do we need? We need a plan, right? So the plan has to be one dot dot dot. There should be space between the four dots, two dots. We're just telling it how it has to be returned. More than 5. Yeah, that should do this. And then we also need by this order. And why this order has to be basically this right here. If you remember, we already have the parser for this ready. So when the output comes in, the parser will do the job. That's why you define the parser. Let's get on to the lesson template. And that is going to be chatbot template dot from messages. Narrate this. So the same thing, we will copy from this area. Let's copy it here first of all. Now, instead of what the system, we want the system now to teach us that exact concept. So you are a personal training tutor, right? Yeah, simply use practical examples, ask on quiz question, return on the requested format. What else do we want the system to know? Yeah, we do not reveal the answer inside the question. Amazing. This should take care of almost everything. We already have that, right? So let's get here to the human prompt now. So for the human prompt, let's copy this template right here. Okay, now we have the system prompt. We have to keep the profile, yes. And we want him to teach this topic, right? And the topic is going to be this. I want it to be returned in the format. There has to be explanation. The explanation, what do we want the explanation to be? To be returned in 4 to 6 lines, right? Actually, no. Let's try to wrap it up. Return in 500 words. Let's try to explain it in 500 words. Maximum. Okay, this is 7 billion parameter model. So giving it lines or paragraphs might not be a good idea. So let's keep it And let's give it a mix. Control. So give one practical example. Okay. And then take a quiz. Pass the quiz question. Actually, wait. We are going to need 5 paragraphs. We need to let it know, otherwise it will write everything. Maximum and 5 paragraphs. I separate, but just like 5 paragraphs. Actually, we do not need this. 500 words should be more than enough. What do you think? We can change it later if we want. Let's put expected answer. What do we want as an expected answer? We need write the ideal answer to the quiz. Right. Next thing comes out to be as the next step. For the next step, we will suggest the next topic. And that should, yeah, for the human profile topic and everything. That should take care of everything. Now, all of this is good. We need to copy it again. And we need to basically create a grade prompt. So let's change this. Your personal training tutor. Grade answers fairly, right? And return on the grades. That's all we need to return, right? No, actually, requested. Yeah, that's better. We want it to return in the format that we wanted to return it, right? So topic, this time we'll keep it like this, okay? Learner profile topic, and we also have used the quiz question, right? So let's do it like this. Quiz question is going to be the question, right? And let's get rid of this getting annoying. Oh, just saw something that I should remove here. Great. Get rid of this. Yep. Now, the quiz question, what do we need? We need the expected answer, right? So the expected answer is going to be the expected answer is, let's go back up. Yeah. Just for our own sake. Yeah, this looks good. This looks good. The topic also looks good. Yeah. And the expected answer is here. We also need to put the learner answer, which is going to just be the answer that he will return. Now, you could see something that there is not an answer here. So where is this coming from? Let me take you up here. Let me take you quickly up here. See, we did not have any answer anywhere, right? Where are we storing this? Your question, right? So the learner's answer or the answer that he has provided is going to be from here, right? So this is not getting fed into the next prompt. So how do we know that we're getting the answer, right? So that's the bigger question, right? So the learner's answer is not something that we fed. This is why we remove it from here. Or can we pass it somewhere? Is there a way to pass it somewhere? Let me look at the docs that I have made for this video. So the learner's answer might not be able to answer. Actually speaking, we do not have a place where we are storing the learner's answer, which is kind of worrying. But guess what? Let's keep the learner's answer out of this, okay? So we do not have that. We could make it and then return in this format. Check what format we're going to return. We need score. No, from 1 to 10. Actually, could be from C also. We also will need the feedback. Helpful feedback. Right. So let's tell it what else. You can get the V area. Right. Right. The concept that is answer or none. Okay. Skill is status. Right. The right commute leads or if score is below 7. Right. Review if score is above 7. I have a feeling this will be above. And this will be. Yeah, that should cover it. And apart from status, we need the next step. This is where the LLM has to tell us for just what to do next. Okay. So what's the LLM telling us what to do next? Yeah, let's get rid of this. We don't need it anymore. So yeah, so this should be everything, right? Making yeah, this should almost be everything, but there's something that we are missing. So what are we missing here is we could have the help be there, so is that really necessary? I don't know. Let's see, show profile. Show profile is an important thing, I guess. right? So show profile should be basically showing the profile of that exact person. But is it something that is mandatory that we can get rid of? Yeah, we don't need to do that. So let's leave it out for now. I will make sure to add it into the Git, yeah, the Git repo. I will make sure to do that. So don't worry about that. So let's do the main thing, define make plan, right? And for making a plan, we need the topic, the file, and the LLM. Awesome. Now let's go chain equal to land launch. Okay. Let's implement it. So the land prompt goes here, or what else goes here? The LLM goes here, or the str, or suppose it. This is the chain. That's everything that is happening there was going to be here. So the response is going to be chain dot invoke, and we basically need to put the topic, and for the topic it's going to be this topic, right? And for the profile, I'll make sure what's profile, right? But there's something else here. Profile summary, right? Put it like this. And okay, this is something that might need to be made. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. We did make it, right? So yeah, I guess we made it. So we don't have to make it again. Yeah, so there goes the profile summary. The response has to be from here. The front has to be shown. So we'll also need to print \n. Sorry, tutor plan, right? Print the response. Print space. That should take care of the response. Let me check what else do I have to add in this. I do not think that we need to add anything in this. The main problem will be while we are trying to basically get all of this done, right? So the thing is that we can make the plan right now. So let's go to this and LLM. Create LLM and profile is equal to load show file. All right. Now we need to print session tutor agent, and then print start with /learn LangChain should be the right thing to say here. We can, it's up to you. This does not change anything. And actually give it a space here, right? Just give it a space here. So while all of this is going to be true, right? we need to make sure. While true, I got this keyboard. While true, what I need to do is that user input has to be taken from the input, and that's you, right? So we basically, this is our user who is giving the input. And if not user input at that point, we just keep continue. So we keep listening. Remember that we were trying to make this for our terminal, right? So we do land prompt is not defined. How can that be true? We should have defined land prompt. We should have defined land prompt. Did we not? Yeah, we did, right? So, oh, okay, okay. This can happen sometimes. It's okay. So, yeah, okay. So while true, we basically should be here right now. And what else do we need to make? Let me go on and look at the theory right now. We need to make. Okay, so we basically need to convert everything to lower. State and convert it to lower. And now we need to basically tell kill statement. It is exit, quit, or slash. Quit. If it is in any of this, then we print. Tutor message. Great session. See you later. Okay. And after that, we break. That is just the loop. Now, if lower is equal to dash health, we did not make a health this thing right. So we right now we are more concerned with do we make a show profile? We did, right? So let's see. We seem to not have made it. So basically, we can't show the profile then. Okay, we didn't made it. So what else? What else? Let's start with plan then. Yeah, let's start with plan. So if that doesn't mean starts with, and if it is starting with plan, right? If that is happening, then topic is equal to user input dot replace. And what are we going to replace it? We're going to replace the plan, and we're going to replace it with this and okay, and then true it. And that is your topic right there. And we do make plan, which we've already defined. And if we look at here, we have topic any, profile any, so we need to pass it topic, profile, and LLM. So we already have find that, right? So topic, profile, and LLM. So if you look here, we already have LLM, profile, and topic we got from here, and we passed it here. And after that, we also need to keep listening. As of this point, we basically are able to create a plan. We need to also have the ability to learn. Yeah, we need to have the ability to learn, right? Yeah, so that's the bigger problem we need to make. Okay, define. What do we name it? Let's make it something like teach topic. Right, so for teach topic, what are we going to pass? We're going to pass the same thing to with file and the LLM. Now, if we look carefully, right, and we see what do we want to do, we basically have a chain that is going to be the lesson prompt. It's also going to be the LLM, and then the str parser. This would be our chin. Okay. And then the response is going to be chain dot invoke. And what are we trying to invoke here? We will be trying to invoke the same thing. So let's do this. Since we already have it figured out, let's just put it. And we're gonna take a topic, right? And the profile summary, we already have that. Now, for the sections, we have parse sections, and we have the response. Now we have the sections here, right? So all the things that we have already done. Let's get to explanation. And let's make it sections dot get, and we'll do explanation. If that is the correct, is it? Let's see. Yeah, that is the correct way of writing it. What else are we? Speech topic. Yeah, sounds good. So we get explanation and we get the response. Okay, so from the response, the explanation, we need to now create a lot of them. So the next thing that we had there was example. Remember, we have also created an example section there, and basically let's go to example, find example. Let's see, what else do we have here? We had explanation, example, quiz, expected answer, and next steps. So explanation, example, quiz, expected answer, and the next step, right? Now, There goes the explanation. Get rid of it. This is quiz. This is expected answer. And this is going to be our next step. Okay. So now for the explanation, we're getting it from the response. So we got it from here. Explanation for this, the default example should be this. Explain the topic in your own. Okay. I guess I were in the wrong place to that. Yeah. So let's get rid of this, put it here. Get rid of this and add this here. That should cover almost everything, I guess. Next steps. Now let's go to profile. And we have current topic is equal to topic. And let's go to profile. Last episode, which will also be, oh, it's not episode, it'll be quiz topic and topic. What else do we have in here? We had the topic, we had the question that was basically quiz, I guess, yeah. And we have the expected answer. Okay. And the expected answer is basically the expected answer. So that will be saved in the profile for the last quiz. That exact last quiz will actually store this now. So we will save the profile and we basically do this. Now that it was saved, we will print the tutor lesson. Yeah, print. We need two non-print statements. The explanation, and let's get rid of this entirely. Explanation here. If there was an example from the LLM, then we print example, and from the next line we shall print example. Now, if example is also there, let's get print again, and there is something else that is the next step. And make sure that this is going to happen in the next line. And we print the next step. Awesome. There is also something that we're missing. So what we're missing. Sorry. So we need to print quiz. Right. So I need to print that, and then we need to print the quiz. make sure that we have a backslash in here. After submitting the quiz here, after printing the quiz here, should we take an input? We can actually take an input otherwise later. So we basically took this, right? So this should handle everything else. The quiz and the next step is also displayed. The explanation is displayed. And that should cover this. So let's come here. And what we're going to do here is, I guess we need to get we need to make sure that if lower dot starts with is backslash learn, then the topic user input dot replace. And what are we going to replace? We're going to replace it with learn. Now strip. Make sure everything is good. And then we go to each topic and we pass on topic, comma, go file, comma, LLM. Now when we do this, we do continue. Now that should cover it. If name put it here. Change to main, right? So main. Let us quickly test it a little bit, right? So where's the terminal? Python main dot Python main dot Python. Let's see if something breaks or not. So this is working. So what we do here is let's use the AI to fix an AI to teach people. Wow. That is something that I never thought that I'd say. So let's go back into the settings. Let's see everything. Okay, we had an incorrect input. So, okay, that makes sense. I mean, we also are using it somewhere here. So let's keep everything. This makes sense. Let's get You're kidding me, right? So is the C capital there also? I guess the C should be capital there also. The C should be capital there also, if I'm not wrong. Let's check it out. It has to be capital. Yeah, I have used it here, so yeah. Where else are we using it? Sorry. Let's always check what your AI is changing. Just a little bit of minor changes. And let's see. Awesome. Our agent is now, well, let's run. Yeah, yes. enable topic, expected topic profile, profile, \n. And so this is basically happening at, let's see. We are setting the format. And this is happening in line 2 to 3 of the formatter. In our code, it's line 2 to 4. Send the base.py. We'll visit it in our code. And in our code, personal training. 59. Most recent tracebacks have been at 210, where we say that the profile chain.invoke input config and quads. That is exactly what we are sending, isn't it? So let's check it out. As far as I'm concerned, it should be correct. Now we're getting late also, so let's do this. Let us go and use our friend, the AI itself. Let's see what we did wrong here. So we're reviewing the prompt setup right now. Okay, so we had a we had a topic issue where what will that break things in other places? See, this is what I mean, right? So it decided we keep this and let's do main.pynf. And we do backslash. So backslash React. Yes. Let's see. We did not find the model, which is very weird. So this is something that fits. Just remember to change all these things. I mean, I will be uploading this file along in Git. So you guys just have to move forward. This is so much fun to change all these things now. So initially, before AI, what we used to do was we used to go through the entire thing, used to go and look at Stack Overflow. But now, see, a simple issue like that would have taken days to fix. Maybe not days, but like, you get my point, right? Yeah, so /learn. Let's actually plan first. /plan. What are your plan? React.js. See, while this is happening, let me check how much of stuff have we covered here. We've covered basically everything in this course that we needed to do. And LangChain agents is, I guess, everything is lagging. We basically should have created the plan should create a plan. The plan was makes sense because okay. So this is how it wants us to do. Introduction to React.js and building a simple React.js application, handling user input, manipulating the DOM, and advanced topic. This is how you bring it up for you guys to understand this better. So let's just do this. Let's see what happens. This is basically our edge case handling. So the last thing was that we created that plan, right? So we haven't actually wired in the memory, right? So it basically remembers only some things and not everything. And when we created the plan, right? So we created the plan. The tutor plan was this: if we keep it empty, and this is only taking time because it's running on my local. So for writing every single thing here, it takes time. Let's get started. As your personal tutor, my job is to help you with your fitness. See, exactly what I said. So let's do React JS instead, and let's try to see what it says. So the idea is that you should be getting things from here. So introduction to React.js, put it there, overview of its framework, then it automatically goes like that. If we keep it empty, it does not remember anything because we did not pass it anything, and it will just hallucinate into something. So I don't know. I must have asked this question for me, or it might have been trained on that. I got to watch. So that's why it's showing this. How do we fix something like this from happening? In the /learn, we create a thing that if it is wrong, go into the street, see what was being talked about. Or we save the plan somewhere and then use that to enter to learn. So let's go. Yeah, explanation React.js is an open source example. Let's say, what is the main advantage of React.js for the user? And it involves, yeah, since you have just started learning React.js, I would suggest you to focus on understanding the basics in the library and its architecture before moving on to the start by learning how you create. So literally just copy this next step, and we can also do like /next step, right? So whatever the next step was stored inside, we are going to access that, and then it's going to run the same thing. It's going to run the function. Let me go back to the code. So let's say we wanted to make something like that, right? So is lower starts with /next step, and the next step we already stored the topic, right? So and the topic already, the profile already has the next step stored in it, I guess. So when you do that, you can literally call the learn of it, this exact same thing, call it, or you don't have the functions, just copy paste this inside that, and then you are all set to be done with. And instead of this user input, you will basically put whatever those do. The last thing that you wanted to be shown as the next step, and then you have next step as a / next step. You can ask if normal questions too, but the idea is not that. The idea was to basically make something. So you do not need these things also. Instead, you can tell and you can create proper stuff here, like most of those. So why I want to do this was this can work as an API route. So think of it like this. This thing right here, which is / let's go to yuvrajraina.com /API /learn in Django. You have the API endpoint, and then you have the learn view, and inside that learn view, you're passing some parameters, name equal to something, and you use all those parameters as your user input. Okay, and then you have an endpoint that is connecting to an application on the front end part. So you just connect your front end and back end, and then you have you have the answer. So literally nothing to be worried about. That should cover everything. I wanted to cover a little bit more things, but I want to keep everything in less than 1.5 hours. So you guys can play around with this, try to make new functions. Actually, do one thing. You guys should. I want you guys to create a grade function if you want to. So after all of this is happening, if statements are there, right? So grade answer. If the user has seen the quiz, right? So he will enter something. So user input, this will just create with the last question that was there. File, LLM. So this right there, try making this at home. Use the code, try making this at home. So making this will help you understand how, how you can increase or implement. We already have everything to that. So I will give you a short explanation on how to make this. All you have to do is you have to create this function. Inside that, you're passing the user input. Okay. And from the profile, you already have the last question, right? So you can come here, you have the quiz. Just open this quiz for the last question and tell the LLM to run an assessment on that exact quiz. And if that exact quiz is, we already have that also in here. So if you see, yeah, we already created that. I was going to show this, but I want you guys to understand it better. So great prompt, we already have that. So return name the requested file format, human profile topic, and status. The next step, feedback, score, and so make sure that it also adds stuff into the weak area and into the completed. And if that something is already in the weak area and it was a score of 7 or greater, remove it from weak area and add it into the completed. Try making this at home and this will be fun. This is, if you are able to make this after watching this entire video, I would think that you have done, you should be able to make this. If you are able to make this, then you should have understood the concept till that point and make your own LLMs. So I guess that's it for today, and have fun, guys.